So how do the righteous obtain phenomenal levels of success after going through tragedy? Here's one way. You never forget who brought you forth in this life, so that the light in you can be seen in the world, that you do become a success. You never forget those who was your building blocks. I will mention here too in this picture, that tassel is my mother's. This picture is my mother's picture that she passed on and entered into the heavenly realm on February 27, 2017. And she passed on from metastatic breast cancer. And she was prior suffering arthritis throughout her entire body. And she showed me strength like I could never imagine on my own. That tassel my mother wore on her graduation, 1971. That item alone in this household that I'm in, that is my mother's home that she had resided in for 33 years and built her family in. That tassel is 45 years old. We're going to just go through a walk right now to give you more of a better picture of who this great woman is, that bear children, the seed of Israel. So I have her photo album. We're going to go through my mother's photo album. What's so very important to me here is that she was aware that she was going to have to die. And she went through a photo album and she put all the pictures together, everything in the way she saw it in her heart and in her mind. It's not all the pictures, but it's just a few that we're going to take a walk down memory lane, and so you can understand what makes one so phenomenally successful through an astronomical tragedy. So here we go. These certain pictures too of some things I want to point out, and for a reason, we're not going to go through quite all. This is my grandfather, my mother's father. This porch right here is a porch of my mother's home that she's been in for 33 years. This is where I'm at now. And that's my grandfather when he came to visit my mother back in the 1980s. I like the little things going through pictures that I found, some connections of history repeats itself. That's my grandfather right here. This is in Birmingham. And that's his work truck, one of his work trucks. Here's a picture of his great-grandchildren. Of his grandchildren, his daughters. His great-grandchildren, his daughter's children. We're black and the white. This is my mother's sister here that's left, that's living. On her dad's side, it's her and her brother, and this is my auntie and her son, my little cousin. These are the ones that my mother was actually able to have around her. My sister gave her a family. This is my sister's daughter and her son. What I found too was very unique. This is a picture of me, 8 years old. And that's a picture of my niece. and both of us on a bike. And I dressed myself. I asked my mother, why are my socks that color? They don't match my top. She said, that girl, you dressed yourself that day. I'm going to point out in here, this is the driveway. This is my prom picture. What's significant for me in this picture is that, one, I would say my mother, she was raised on a farm. And my mother's raised by her dad. She didn't go to the prom. She didn't have a boyfriend. She didn't have any part like that of her life. She lived a very enclosed life just with her family. She only went to her family's house to play. That was who she grew up with. That was her friends. In this picture, I point out, my mother was working. This is her driveway. I can say where I'm still at. This is the driveway. And this picture, me in this dress, and this picture was taken when I believe I was 17. And the significance in this picture is that this dress here I'm wearing, the bottom of it, my mother, she created that, and she added that to this dress. And she worked all day. She worked a 8-hour full shift, and she got home from work at about 11 o'clock that night. And she sewed that dress all night long until the morning, until it was finished. And she actually sewed in that was 2 big bows that set up on the top. And through the whole night we talked until early morning. My mother didn't sleep at all. That's what she did that night. I will never forget that. And she was so happy. This is my mother standing next to me in the white. Not next to me, next to my prom date, excuse me. And she got to experience a prom through me. That's my granddad on the far left, and that's his sister, my aunt. And that's her husband in the center. So this is my grandfather, the picture above, and that's his sister, my auntie Nettie B. This is picture was taken in the 50s. And this is my granddad's daughter, my mother. And the picture underneath, and her son standing next to her, which is the youngest of my mother's children. This is my uncle. This is my grandfather, his brother, my great uncle, his son. This is the farm that my grandfather owned before he went into his own landscaping business. My mother had to get up early in the morning, about 4 o'clock in the morning, and she'd go out and feed the animals, hogs, cows, pig, everything, and then go to school. Very cute story too, I know. My mother had her best friend was a billy goat, and this billy goat was so intelligent that when my mother would go out to school in the morning, in the afternoon, when my mother got dropped off at the bus stop, my mother Billy Goat was there waiting too. And everybody on that bus was so scared. She said the driver, which was a young gentleman back in the 60s, they drove the bus sometimes, the school bus. And he drove the school bus. And he was like, Shirley Ann, you have to do something about the Billy Goat, because the kids would be so scared. But they're very intelligent, and he wait for it, didn't do nothing, didn't do no one no harm. And my mother and her friend, her Billy Goat, they walk home together. That's their vehicle. That's my mother and my mother's sister that she was raised with, that my grandfather raised. This is when my grandfather then left, sold all It's farmland. He opened up his own landscaping company, and on the truck it says the Daniel Pickett Landscaping. These are cousins. These are all my mother's father. This picture was taken in this house too I'm in. That's my sister on the bike with my baby brother. My uncle, his wife. Some more relatives. This is my grandmama Mary, her family. She raised my mother and my auntie with my grandfather. And I'm going to show. This is my mother here. It's her cousin. And that's Jasmine LJ. This is my niece. This is my niece too. That's my nephew. This picture is taken too in this house. It's my sister here. When my sister was going through school for her RN, like I said, this house has been a safe haven. My sister, she returned here and went to school and everything, and these were her strengths right here. And this is my mother's siblings. My Aunt Margaret, she's passed on. So this is my auntie here, Leela, and my uncle here. The only brother my mother have. This is a party that we threw for Jasmine when she was little. As you can see too, this is the same house. This is the background the bathroom is at, which leads out through this door back here. Something I noticed was too prevalent, I want to point out. The similarity. This is my mother. She was in Birmingham when she received a reward for something. And this is my mother, her son, first son here. And look at the smile on his face when he got this little gift he got to. They carry the same smile, history, repeats itself. My aunts. My mother's oldest son when he was little. It's all of us together here too. This is in this same yard, in this driveway. That's me. That's my brothers, two of them there. That's my niece, my nephew, my brother-in-law. I wanted to show something important here now. This is where I'm at too. This is my mother sitting down here. And this is her back door where I walk through still now. And she's eating, but she's studying something. She's always studying something. This is her favorite aunt, Aunt Nettie B. And that's my nephew there who got to meet her. I haven't got to meet her yet. I'm praying on God that he's going to bring he's going to open a door for that to happen. It's my sister with auntie. This is in Birmingham.